Now, Gears of War 4 is finally out. If you got the Ultimate Edition, I'm happy to say that I did. So I have done a couple of tests on the PC version with my setup, which is a GTX 980 Ti GPU and an i7-4790K CPU, as well as 16 gigabytes of RAM. And we're gonna see exactly how this baby fares at 1440p as well as 1080p. Alright, so before I get started, let me give a huge shout out to fellow YouTuber and good friend of mine who's been helping me through a lot since like 2012, and in fact is part of the reason why I have the early edition of Gears of War 4, the Ultimate Edition. And the YouTuber is none other than God's LP. Link down in the description below. Make sure you check out his channel and hit that sub button. Alright, so we're running everything at the Ultra preset. I didn't tweak anything, nothing is custom, everything is preset based off of the Ultra. And for our first test, we're going to test out the 1440p performance. Now this is scaled resolution. I'm gaming this on a 1080p monitor, but I'm using this scale feature that is within the game to play it at a 1440p resolution on my 1080p monitor. Alright, so the gameplay in these tests are based around the prologue of the game, which feature a lot of highly explosive moments and stuff in the game, and I figured this would be very good to test out and stress out the GPU and see how good it can do. Now, like I said before, I couldn't use an external analyzer that will display over the game, so you're gonna have to look at the bottom right corner for the frame rate and the VRAM usage of the game during its gameplay. I'll try to blow it up and place it somewhere else on the screen so you can see it more clearly, but that's what we're gonna have to deal with for this. Now this game is just absolutely fucking beautiful, and you can just see the amount of detail that's put in these textures at 1440p. And you can also see the impact that these ultra textures are having during the campaign in these very high octane explosive moments with the 980 Ti. Now you gotta excuse my atrocious gameplay. I was trying to play this game with keyboard and mouse when I usually play it with a controller. I always play Gears with a controller. And that shit is kind of fucking hard. It's hard to wall bounce the way you want to. Your aim is on point, but the wall bounce is just tough as shit. Alright, so what we're seeing from the 1440p scale performance is kind of a mixed bag. It's actually not too bad, being that this game is completely on Ultra preset without anything touched, brought down, or brought up any further, if you can even go any further in the settings, at 1440p. I've seen dips as low as 40 frames per second, but for the most part, we average roughly around the 60 frame per second area. Alright, so the benchmark that they give you in game is really not a true reflection on the real time of the campaign, because the campaign tends to have a lot of really crazy blockbuster hit explosions, Michael Bay shit going on. And I think the benchmark is more of a direct interpretation of what you should expect during the multiplayer. You still got a lot of shit going on, but not nearly as much as the movie crazy shit that's going on in the campaign. Alright, so on average, we're looking at 74.2 frames per second at 1440p scaled with the Ultra preset on, with the GTX 980 Ti and i7-4790K combination. I have to say that is pretty damn good for an average, in my opinion, at 1440p. Alright, so at 1080p with the Ultra preset, we're looking at a much better performance, as we expect, of course, because it's a lower resolution being done now. As we can see from both tests, this game loves VRAM, so if you got it, it's gonna use it. Very smooth and consistent, and it was really hard to get this game to go below 100 throughout all this testing, even on campaign, so I can only imagine what the frame rate would be online. As you can see, when big explosions and some big time shit goes down, the frame dips, as expected in any game really. But like I said, in the campaign, it happens a lot more frequently than in multiplayer. And you can also see me developing a little bit better skill with the keyboard and mouse this time around in Gears of War 4. Not gaming keyboard and mouse on the regular, that is my main controller, but it feels so fucking weird in Gears of War because this game is all about body movement, even more than aiming, to be honest with you. That shit started to feel good after a while, man, damn. Alright, at 1080p, things are looking mighty nice, as they should be. We're looking at 116.8 frames on average at 1080p with the Ultra preset, with the GTX 980 Ti and i7-4790K combination. Bottom line of this game, man, is that it's a phenomenal fucking PC port. I can't even call it a port. This shit feels like it was made for PC. This is great, man. Microsoft and the coalition needs to give themselves a pat on the back for this one, because this shit is optimized pretty damn well. Now, I also have a GTX 970. Of course, many of you know that. And I've been thinking about doing tests on it as well, and I might do that for the 970 users out there. This is iDoc Life. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Dislike the video if you don't like it. This is your world. Do what you want to do. I'm out. Peace. But haven't we learned? Like, why are developers still doing this? What is going on with your head? 2K, what is going on, man? And I'm also hearing that you can't even edit the INI files to force an unlock on the frame rate. It literally is locked and slammed down with a fucking key in there.